Hey everyone, this is a live trade example from October 5th, 2022, when I was trading JNUG based off of GDXJ, which is the underlying ETF that is not leveraged, and silver. And I'm showing my observations. I'm essentially thinking out loud. I eventually get stopped out break even at one point and jump right back in. And I explain why, some observations about volume and things like that. Hopefully it gives some insight into my thought process as I am entering a trade setup. Miners getting real beat up. 5-minute RSI in the teens. Checking in on silver. Silver with fresh lows. Hourly RSI on the verge of oversold. Bitcoin also at fresh lows, so there are some red flags here. Bitcoin is definitely pulling back on the 4-hour more than the bulls would like to see. QQQ hit a new low of the day. SPY has not yet. I'm close to getting interested in these miners, these junior miners. If I want to be picky, I'm waiting for silver to get to hourly oversold. Its hourly RSI is 31.6 right now. Silver's starting to get real close. Making an initial entry in JNUG. I'll make one more. On a break of 28. I'm seeing the miners hold the low of the day while silver hits fresh lows, which is the reason for my initial entry now. Also haven't traded JNUG in years, so getting used to position size and how it moves and things like that. So QQQ clearly the weakest link here. Tesla has broken the double bottom, no follow through yet. XBI broke 8140, confirming the hourly head and shoulders. SPY has not hit a new low of the day yet. It's close. Again, it's our other sectors trying to save things here as QQQ is leading the way down. Exiting half JNUG just to be risk-free, not have to watch it. So entry 2832, out half 2864. Which means my stop could be under 28 psychological with zero risk. And again, the biggest clue for me, as far as, I know I'm looking for an entry right now. I know I'm watching silver to get hourly oversold. But the reason I clicked the buy button when I did for my first entry, let's see if we can see it easily, but we had silver, this is silver on the 1 minute. And this is GDXJ on the 1 minute. So GDXJ low of the day was 942, and that was right here. And I saw silver do this, its biggest red 1 minute candle of the morning, and GDXJ did that. So that shows me relative strength. So when this was happening on silver, this was happening on the miners. Nice follow through for those biotech bears. Kept the 1 minute downtrend to textbook head and shoulders. The tricky thing is, if that head and shoulders forms midday, it forms so differently than if it's forming in the first 20 minutes of trading. When it's the first 20 minutes of trading, you got all that volatility and volume, and you see that shot up and then big drop very fast. It's much harder to catch that move than if we had a 5-minute uptrend, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. to 10:40, and then we lose the 5-minute uptrend at 11 a.m., and the hourly lower high is shaping up, and then into noon, we drop down and break the support level. It's a difference of something happening within 15 minutes versus happening within 2.5 hours. And personally, for me, it's much easier when I have the slower and steady trends and levels to be going off of. We still don't have any trend changes on silver and miners. Silver's rejecting from 1 minute EMA 12. We need a 1 minute uptrend. If I wanted to be aggressive, I'd be looking to add back my half. But because this is my first time trading JNUG in years, I'm not going to do that. 2 minute inverse head and shoulders attempt on GDXJ. So burden certainly on bulls this morning with how we have started here. And the simple statement for me is SPY bulls do not prove a thing unless they break 375.39. Quadruple top resistance. GDXJ trying to confirm the 2 minute inverse head and shoulders. Need a break of 30.91 and 30.97 for it to be convincing. And of course, want to see silver with a big enough bounce I mean, silver doesn't even have a 5-minute bounce underway, so I am really liking the way that GDXJ is trading relative to silver, but certainly want silver to help out. SPY still battling it out, tightening up. 2-minute equilibrium, nice and clear. GDXJ bears rejecting. Got real close to the inverse head and shoulders, could not get over 2-minute EMA 12. And heading back towards the low as silver is hitting fresh lows. Silver is now hourly oversold. 15-minute, 5-minute. But bears are keeping their short-term control as SPY is breaking bear. So SPY never changed the 15-minute trend. There's no sign of the 4-hour higher low as long as that's the case. And now it's just a question of, are we about to see all major sectors hit low of the day at the same time? Stopped out JNUG break even. Silver breaking 20 psychological. I'm going to re-enter JNUG that position exactly where I stopped out for the same half position size. And I'm willing to risk some red here rather than keeping it break even. Reason being, silver is just getting to that hourly oversold, and I like where the 5 and 15-minute RSI are. Essentially, this is generally a spot where I'd be looking to make an entry and don't want to be stopping out just to try and save break even. Can definitely risk a third of a day maker or something like that on that trade. So I'll put a stop to risk a third of a day maker, which would be, I mean, at this point I can give a stop all the way down to 27.50 and risk a quarter day loser. So we'll just do that for now as a placeholder. I might look to add a second position, but I want to let things play out a little bit. What I just did there is very different than if I had just stopped out for a half a day loser or a day loser. If I were jumping right back in, that would be a big red flag, but because it's break even, it's different for me. Silver watching for some climax volume on the 15-minute. Whoops. So look at the volume and then look at the time left in the candle. This candle is just over halfway done and we're almost at the highest 15-minute volume in the last 5 hours, 10 hours. So I know that this 15-minute candle is going to have more volume than any candle in the last bunch of hours. DXY heading towards high of yesterday. Silver with the highest 15-minute volume candle in 5 days. I can predict the future. But we'll just be looking for a 15-minute lower high and watching EMA 12. Nice guide, just like the dollar 15-minute EMA 12 has been support. So definitely a long way to go for the bulls to prove bounce follow through. And GDXJ needs to gain its first 2-minute uptrend of the day. In the end, I ended up exiting my bullish position under the high of the day. The recognition was, well, if we do not break 31.10, it's just a 15-minute lower high, and I'm going to anticipate an equilibrium. And I actually ended up selling my longs and then entering JDST and going short for the 15-minute lower high. And at that point, my trade was just stop loss over the high of the day. I will exit JDST if GDXJ gets a new high of the day. And again, just playing both leveraged ETFs in both directions for this tightening range. I then knew that a 15-minute higher low compared to the low of the day was the most likely scenario, so locked that trade in. And it doesn't look like much, but you know, this little pullback here over an hour on the leveraged ETF is a 3.5% pullback. So that was my trading day for JNUG. Haven't traded it in a long time, but it went well. And I'm certainly open to trading it more in the near-term future.